Hi, this is Eric, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, right down there is a subscribe button. Click that, subscribe with us. We would love to have you along for the journey. Hi, my name is Eric, and I'm with Driven Industries, and thanks for watching this video today. We're a company that's all about helping people, and today I'm going to give you just what my myths that I have found out about AA is. This is not something that we're necessarily supposed to broadcast and talk about, but I found it important enough to actually share with you, as an addict and going through recovery, a lot of the myths that I found out about AA. And a lot of people have reached out to me and going, you know, I don't want to go to AA because of this, because of that, and there's lots of reasons, and I totally get it. And so I wanted to let you know just a couple of the myths that are out there about what Alcoholics Anonymous is and what it's really actually about. The Alcoholics Anonymous, one of the biggest myths is that this is a cult. It's kind of like almost a religious sect, in a sense that we're all brainwashed and about having issues and trouble and problems and all this, and it's not. What it really is this is a community, it's a support group of addicts that we all have something really in common, and that's the fact that, well, for me, for example, I would wake up at 7 in the morning and start drinking. And I would drink all day long until at night, and most people go out and they can have a beer, they can have a cocktail, and I would go out and I have 3/5 vodka. So my drinking was not normal by any means. And a lot of times with Alcoholics Anonymous, it's not this cult of anything in particular. What it is, it's a bunch of us drunks and addicts getting together and just being able to share and talk about our stories. So if you're afraid of what it's really about, come on into one of the meetings, you'll find out it's a bunch of us sharing our stories and our life stories and kind of what's going through, and it's about figuring out triggers and really making sure and keeping ourselves accountable for staying sober. Another really big myth on Alcoholics Anonymous that I've ran into is that you have to do it and you cannot get sober without it. And that is, in my opinion, a myth. I've ran into lots of people who've gotten sober different ways, and they haven't used Alcoholics Anonymous. Alcoholics Anonymous is it's a tool out there to use and a group out there to use to help you with sobriety, because that group is not going to fix you. It's not going to make you better. You're not going to change all of a sudden just because you go there. It's not what it's about. It's just, again, like I'd mentioned, it's just about a bunch of addicts getting together, holding each other accountable, and sharing with each other our experiences and how we've overcome and progressed in life and progressed in the changes and getting to share the changes. And it's also inspiring for others, especially if you're fresh to trying to sober up, knowing that life is better down the road, because it's a very, very difficult disease essentially to overcome, a difficult condition to overcome. So that is what Alcoholics Anonymous is about. Another myth that I've ran into is the 12-step program, and what is that? And what I found out is a lot of these stigmas and negativity towards it is a lot by not understanding. Well, just like with anything, and you want to get good at it, there's usually a process to it. There's conditioning to it. And just like in recovery, they came up with a way to condition for it. You know, that there is a book. There's something called the Big Book. And this isn't like a Bible. This isn't something that you have to carry around with you. In fact, I keep this in my briefcase. And what it is it's a guide, and it's stories, and it's reminding us of who we were and finding out a process to get an end result that we want. And that's really what I feel that the 12-step program, when you get into that side of it, is about. Is you want to be sober and you want to change your life, and where do I start? And a lot of us don't know where to start at. Well, give us some direction, and that's what it is. It gives you direction of how to stay sober. It's not anything other than, here's the map, you know what you want in the end, here's where you start, there's where you finish. That's all it is. So if you're one of those that are out there and you're going, well, I don't really want to go into, I don't want to get involved in AA, and I don't really know what it's about, it's because of fear. We don't want to admit that we're an addict. We don't want to admit that we have a problem. So we don't reach out to these programs. It's okay. There's tons of people that have drinking problems or have problems out there. If you're one of them and watching this, it's okay. It's how we're wired. This program does help, though, and it does have a very high success rate. It's just like anything else. If you don't believe in chemotherapy, if you don't believe in insulin, this is kind of like that for an addict. And you could take it to the extreme and say, well, they're completely different. Great, good for you. I would have been killing myself, and I would have died very early from my disease if I didn't seek treatment like I have. So don't be afraid to go to one of these meetings. They're very open. They're very friendly. Don't be afraid that anyone's going to push anything on you. Another huge myth is that it's very religious, and you have to believe in God, and you have to be Catholic, or you have to be Christian, or you have to... No. There is no religion when it comes to Alcoholics Anonymous. It's whatever your higher power is. And all it really comes down to, when you do see the God, and you do see that in AA, is referring to this higher power. It doesn't matter what your higher power is. It could have been the two people that just yelled over there. It could be my higher power. It's having that belief out there that something is with us along the journey, and not being alone for it. It's what it's about. It's not that you have to start going to church. You have to start. None of it is that. We do it because we want to do it, and we want to get sober, and we want to get clean. So these are just some of the myths that I ran into when it came to AA, and why people didn't want to go to AA. Do you need to have a sponsor? No. Does it help? Tremendously. And it all comes back down to accountability. It's keeping ourselves accountable every day. There's that saying, and some people agree with the saying, some people don't agree with the saying. It's one day at a time. I'm all for it because it's one day at a time for me. At any given time, I could totally screw up everything I had by taking just one drink, because I know I'm not going to stop with just one. And it's going to just fester, and it's going to grow, and it's going to become just a monster. So if you're questioning, should you try AA, my suggestion is go and try a meeting. Google it. There's tons of meetings around. I'm in Orange County. There's some great ones down in the Huntington Beach area. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to walk in. You don't have to share. You don't have to talk. You don't even have to say hi to anybody. You can sit in the back of the room and just see what it's all about. And who knows, you might get something out of it. It's kind of like panning for gold. And you're just hoping to find that little nugget. And every now and then you're going to find that nugget. It's going to inspire you, or it's going to show you a change that you can make, or something you can do differently to help make sure that you don't fall back into your addiction. And Alcoholics Anonymous, the last thing I'm going to tell you about it is, it's not just based around alcohol. It's based around all addictions. So, if you're addicted to dope, if you're addicted to speed, if you're addicted to opiates, you're not the only one in there. Why do addicts of that sort even come into Alcoholics Anonymous? Because all addiction is very similar, and it has a lot of the same qualities in our lives that we do. So don't be excited of going in there and going, oh, we're all addicts, and we're going to go to church, and we're going to honk the horn, and that's what we get when we do these live like this. And you got to have fun with it. When you go to Alcoholics Anonymous, it's about having fun. It's about going with the flow. It's about taking those triggers in life and making it through it. But these are the tips and the myths that I really found out about AA. I'm a firm believer about it, but I'll never ever push anybody to have to go do it. It's solely up to you, just like getting sober was solely up to you, not anyone else. And I hope that you got something from this video, and if you know somebody who's kind of questioning if they should go to AA or not, share this video with them. Let them know kind of what it's about, and have them watch it. Who knows, they might end up going, they might get something out of it. They might go and say, nope, I'm never going back to another meeting. That's okay too, as long as they stay sober. That's what it's all about. So, I'm Eric, I'm with Driven Industries. We're a company that's people helping people. It's okay to be not okay. And let's just reach out and let's support each other. And let's do this together, because there's so many challenges in life. It's so much easier not to have to do it alone. And as always with our company, let me ask you one question, and that is, what drives you?